Hello everybody, this is Lara with your once or twice a week update for Bitcoin and Solana. Bitcoin is moving higher so far. The range for this week will be a lot bigger than the range for the previous week. This is on a semi-log scale, so it's even more impressive than it looks because the higher numbers are more squished together because of the scale. So we've got a really nice increase in range along with an increase in volume for upward movement. We can have strong confidence in this breakout at both weekly and daily timeframes. The next bullish run is underway. The only question is, how high is it going to go? We can see a strong increase in volume. This is the strongest volume we've had for well over a year from Bitcoin for upward movement. On balance volume is making new highs with price. The last signal was bullish as it broke above rather weak resistance. ADX is now ever so slightly increasing at the weekly time frame, telling us there's an upward trend in a relatively early stage. This is not the strongest signal ADX can give, as it didn't rise up from below 15, but it did start its ascension from below both DX lines. So it's a reasonably decently strong bullish signal from ADX, and at the weekly time frame, that's bullish. There is a very, very long way to go before this trend reaches extreme. I am not going to identify any divergence between price and RSI back here from the highs in March 2024. I will wait for a pivot to develop in both price and RSI before I identify if there's any divergence. This method will filter out those instances where you can see divergence and it just provides a false signal. Price will just go on in the old direction, in this case upward. Likewise, I am not yet going to identify any divergence between price and money flow because there is no pivot developed yet on price and money flow. ATR for the last 2 weeks showing just a little bit of an increase now as price moves higher. Volatility is to the upside now. Technicals on the daily, let's look for support at 73,800 if we see a deeper pullback. However, we may not. When Bitcoin has a strong bullish run early on, the pullbacks, well, it takes a while before it's going to develop a pullback, and it may not be that deep down to 73,800, so I wouldn't be counting on that if that's what you're looking for. Volume is pushing price higher. The last completed session has a higher high and a higher low and a small body, so we can't tell without looking inside that session whether it's up or down volume that is supporting that movement, but we can tell that the previous two strongest sessions were upward sessions. So even if this was downward movement in this session, the following session has a good strong bullish follow through. I'm not concerned whatsoever. Volume is definitely to the bullish side. On balance, volume is making highs with price. There's no new range, no new signal. ADX tells us there's an upward trend. It's a long way from as extreme as it can get for this market. This is still early to mid in this short-term bullish phase of this upward movement. So I wouldn't be expecting any deep corrections yet. I'd be expecting right now for price to just continue on higher. RSI is fairly deeply overbought. This can remain quite deeply overbought for quite a while when this market has a strong bullish run. This is a very extreme market with extreme volatility. It can maintain extreme conditions for quite a while. So just because RSI is now deeply overbought is not necessarily a danger signal for this market in this bullish run. Put it in context with ADX. ADX is not extreme. There's no bearish divergence for the short term between price and RSI. This bullish run is not yet in danger of ending. Money flow isn't overbought either, so this can get quite deeply overbought and remain there for a while this market has a strong bullish run. ATR showing a nice increase as price moves higher. Volume and volatility favour the upside. Everything in this chart is bullish. There is nothing here that is going to give any cause for concern at this relatively early stage in Bitcoin's upward run. Elliott Wave analysis for Solana. Solana is also continuing higher, and recently lows have been also respecting the lower edge of this channel pretty much. Maybe we can draw a little parallel copy down there. Yeah, if we put a parallel copy, this is perfectly where lower, deeper corrections have been finding support recently for Solana. So draw this channel using Elliott's first technique from 1 to 3, place a parallel copy at the end of 2. Look for support for any deeper corrections at this blue trend line. That seems to be working. My target remains the same. 2887 is where cycle 3 would reach 11.09, the length of cycle 1. Now that's a Fibonacci ratio. It's a very extreme Fibonacci ratio, and I wouldn't use it for a normal market, but cryptocurrencies are not normal markets. This is where we're having financial bubbles. There is always going to be a set of markets, and it has been the same for the entirety of human history, when we've had markets, there's always going to be somewhere where there are financial bubbles forming, and at the moment it's crypto. Once upon a time, back in the 1600s in Holland, it was tulips. It was the dot-com bubble up to 2000, loads of other examples of bubbles throughout history. Right now, it's crypto. So when you're looking at markets that have this extreme volatility, that have a tendency to form financial bubbles, then use extreme Fibonacci ratios. So that's what I'm doing here for the retarget 2887. So primary 5 to end cycle 3 may only subdivide as a 5-wave motive structure. Within it, no second wave correction may move beyond a start below 111.4255. Solana's a little way off, making a new all-time high. The previous all-time high was 258.9113, not there yet. At the daily time frame, we're looking at the structure now of primary wave 5. I expect it's begun with a series of 1, 2, 3 overlapping first and second waves for intermediate, minor and minute degree. Now moving toward the middle of the third wave, but I don't think the middle of the third wave within primary 5 has yet passed. It's really typical for cryptocurrencies to exhibit fifth waves that end third wave impulses 1 degree higher, to exhibit blow-off tops, an insane increase in volatility with vertical upward movement for 2 to 5 weeks, and then a huge crash. A long way away from that. I'm only mentioning it now because I want to keep my eye on the prize. I'm looking for the end of primary 5 to end cycle 3, and I'll be looking for that vertical upward movement. I don't think it's here yet. I think it's still a few months away. It's less than a year, possibly less than 6 months away, a few months away. I'll do some work later on with Fibonacci number sequence in terms of duration. I'll have a look and see if Solana exhibits that and see if I can try and figure out when this might end. I have not had time for that work yet today, so I'll see if I can get that done for you next week. Let's just look at daily technicals for Solana. The moving average situation is full bore bullish. The short yellow is above the mid purple, which is the 50-day, which is above the long-term green, which is the 200-day. The 50-day crossed above the 200 back here. That's a golden cross. That's a very bullish signal. And price is above all. They all have positive slopes. This is a full bore bullish look. At this low down here, we have a bullish piercing pattern. At this low down here, we have a bullish engulfing pattern. We've got a morning star here. We've got another morning star here. We've got some strong bullish candlesticks showing an increase in range. The current candlestick so far at 10:29 a.m. has a bullish long lower wick. Yesterday's candlestick closed red, but there's a higher high and a higher low, and the close of this candlestick is less than halfway into the body of this previous candlestick. So this is not a bearish reversal pattern. This looks like just a little bit of a small pause, a small breather within an ongoing upward trend. This does not look like and signal that this new upward trend is complete. Recent strongest volume is on an upward candlestick. Overall, volume is increasing as price moves higher. No new range, no new signal from on-balance volume. It had a bullish signal here, breaking back below that line, so that line doesn't have great technical significance. I'm not going to read this as a bearish signal. I'm just going to say that this line probably isn't strong enough now for a signal. It had 3 tests here, it wasn't too steeply sloped, and when it was broken, each time a line is broken though, that does weaken the technical significance. So a break below is very slightly bearish, but not enough to take too much notice of. ADX is increasing. It's still at a reasonably low level. This is telling us there is a bullish trend in a relatively early stage. This is very, very bullish. RSI is overbought, but only just. There's no short-term bearish divergence between price and RSI. Money flow is still neutral. There's a little way to go before this gets extreme. And ATR is increasing along with price, with volume and volatility favouring the upside and conditions not yet extreme. This supports the Elliott Wave count. Solana is most likely in the early stages of the next very strong bullish run. These charts are extremely bullish. That's it for me today with your update, and I'll be back maybe later this week if I have the time, but definitely next week. I'm settled in Andorra now for 3 months to get some snowboarding, so that'll be some fun. And while I'm here, I expect to do a lot more work behind the scenes for Pure Elliott Wave. The CMT Association, I should be publishing my research paper soon, and while they're working on that, I'm working on an application for our website. If you're an Elliott Wave geek like me, and you like data and facts, and you want your information based on research, I'm going to be giving you 95% confidence intervals, mean lengths of third waves to first, second to first, and so on and so forth to help with more accurate target calculation. And I'm going to be building a searchable database based on my research where you'll be able to filter for wave position, market type, market, and structure. You'll be able to look at some really solid, accurate data based on over 85,000 data points, over 3,500 Elliott waves we collected, over 8 markets, over hundreds of years of data that we looked at all together. And so that's coming up soon, and I'm really looking forward to announcing that when it gets here. So thank you all for your patience and thank you for your support. Oh, and I should have said this at the start of the video, shouldn't I? Please like and share and make a comment, because all of your engagement helps this little YouTube channel.